Okay guys, welcome back to our latest episode of Behind the Scenes at Rocksalt. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our catering business and how that all started and how it's going today, I suppose. So basically I think the whole story behind this episode will all be about never saying no to an opportunity. You just never know what could come up from it. We started off, as you know, back in 2018, a small cafe, wanting to do something different and wanting to put our own twist on coffee, food, service, and bring all that great stuff from 5-star hotels, Michelin star restaurants, some of the best restaurants in the world, but put it into a casual environment, a casual place, and something cool, and just do something different. So that's what we were doing. Never ever did I envision that I'd be sitting here 7.5 years down the line with 5 cafes, grab and go, a bakery where we're here at the moment in our little Rocksalt. What have we got? 18 shops that stock our Rocksalt Fit meals. We've got another 14, 15 professional teams that we feed post-training, pre-training meals, post-match meals, look after all their nutrition. And we've a thriving catering business as well we've got 2 food trucks on the road. And we're getting more and more opportunities to grow the business as well. So it's something that I suppose I never really look back on or kind of celebrate the wins, but looking back on where we came, it's phenomenal, and it's something that I'm really proud of, and the team here are so proud of, and been absolutely amazing how we've been able to grow it together. But what this episode is more about is how we've managed to go from, I suppose, just having a cafe in Blackrock with 20 seats to expanding into a completely different business that I knew nothing about, supplying shops, doing fit meals, doing catering, and it really thriving and taking off. So we've got a couple of different businesses at the moment, but the catering business is huge, and it's really the last 2.5, 3 years it really took off. So basically how it all started, we obviously have the cafe here in Blackrock, and I suppose people used to come in and say, "Oh, Dan, is there any chance you could do a plate of beef stroganoff or chicken curry?" And I'd ask Connor, could he do something up, and we'd drop it up to their house that evening, and they'd help themselves, or we'd just leave it in a big tray, something like that. But we made it really well. That was the whole thing. It would have been very easy for me to turn around and say, "Oh no, sorry, we don't do that. Like we can do up 10 chicken stuffing sandwiches if you want something like that." But no, we always, I suppose, something about business and being an entrepreneur and being in business, you always have to say yes to everything and then figure it out, which we did thousands and thousands of times. Sometimes we got it wrong, but there's something in that's a really key learning for everybody. Say yes, figure it out, because you never know what will come. Our production business last month, I just went through all the invoices, sending out all the month things from December between our shops, our catering, and our retail meals. We've sold over €100,000 worth of stock and food. So it's a huge business. That's in 1 month just being invoiced out. So it's a massive business. We've got 30 people working in it. So basically that all came from people asking me if they could do beef stroganoff or chicken curries or chicken a la kings, and we've been able to do that. Fast forward probably a year of doing that, just ad hocly. We never shouted about it. We've always focused on what we were good at, doing the cafe and focusing on that. But if anybody came in and asked for a sandwich platter or chicken curry at the house, anything like that, it was always, yeah, no problem. Look, we'll have it for you tomorrow. And it's just, I think that's part and parcel of the business, and trying to operate and trying to utilize the facilities that you have as much as you possibly can. So then all of a sudden, the Dundalk football club were flying at the time. All the players used to be in for their lunch and used to come down after training to come into Blackrock. They used to get our energy balls, used to have the chicken stuffing sandwich after to try and boost up, get their calories and get their protein levels right again. And I think it was Pat Hubin or McElhenney, they always kept asking me, "Dan, is there any chance you could drop some food up?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely, get the club to give me a call, like, no problem at all, we'll figure it out." And eventually that happened. I got a call from the club and asked if we'd be interested in looking after the players' meals. So we said, yeah, absolutely, we did that. We started off with nothing. We didn't know what we were getting into, from going from a couple of chicken a la kings or chicken curries or beef stroganoff to maybe doing 10 people once a week or twice a week. All of a sudden, we were feeding a whole football team of up to 40 people every day after training, pre-match, post-match, trying to work out calories, trying to work out everything. Didn't know what we were doing. We had our Café in Dundalk at the time on Earl Street, and we utilised the kitchen there to do it. We were putting it in the back of my car, or Armis's car, and we were driving it up and serving it out in chafing dishes, and the lads absolutely loved it. They said they couldn't get food like that anywhere. So that kind of, obviously, it went really well for a full season with them, but that was, I suppose, the stigma or the trigger that happened. So I was thinking, well, however, like Dundalk were the best team in the league at the time, like had the best players, and they were eating crap. So how many other clubs are like that around Ireland? Never mind the GA, never mind the Electricity League. Like, there's so many people eating crap and professional athletes, which I thought was amazing. So that's when we decided, well, Jesus, do you know what? There's probably something more in this. Why can't you have good quality restaurant cooked to order, as close to order as food as you can, and serve teams and serve bigger groups of people? But get the nutrition right, get the balance right, and get the taste and the flavours in the food absolutely phenomenal. So that's what we set out to do. We've never gone after anything, we just wanted to get it right. So we never went after any business. Then we had Mickey and Gavin went into Louth, and I think Mickey was a big catalyst in changing it for us, because we showcased our food from, he'd heard that we were looking after Dundalk, and a couple of people had recommended the food and to try it out. I'll never forget it. We went to Darver one rainy night in November. We did a whole spread of all different things, between pancakes, between a crispy chili chicken, between what else did we have? We did our butter bowl. We did like loads of veggie options. We did like a nice potato hash, which was lower in calories again, but just things done really well. And I'll never forget, he went around and tasted all the food, and he said, "Holy shit, Dan, this is the best food that I've ever had in my life." And that was that. He said, "Whatever it takes, we need you guys with us." So I suppose that was a big catalyst of changing the dynamic of what we were now doing. So we went from looking after one team in Dundalk, maybe 40 people, to looking after the whole Louth senior team, which was 55 people, 4 or 5 times a week. And that just kept growing and growing and growing. So we eventually moved out of our kitchen in Dundalk, where we were utilising the economies of scale, using the chefs on a slower period of time, and making the food fresh to order there and dropping it around the place. To then we put in a kitchen in the back of Blackrock. We had a big storeroom in the back there that we were underutilising, so we decided to put a prep kitchen in there, and we invested maybe 12 to 15,000, put in a new oven, new grill, we got inductions, fitted out, we had to change the extraction and everything else and put the gas in. So there was a lot of stuff. Now, we did it in part payments, and we were able to negotiate things around the place, so it wasn't a huge investment, but at the time for me it was a huge investment. We had 2 teams at the time, and all of a sudden then it gave us space, it gave us things. Like, now it was tiny, it was no bigger than this size, but we thought, holy crap, this is incredible, we're onto something completely different, something new that we've never done before. And it allowed us to get more teams. We got dairy then, and we just kept adding more and more to it. Richard Tiernan was in one day with us, who owns Super Value in the Fairways and Centre in Blackrock. And I said to him one day, I said, look, we're doing loads of these meals for the players. I said, would there be anything in, if we packaged it up, would you be interested in looking at it? And he said, yeah, of course we would, Dan. If you get the right package, put all your calories, your macros, have everything on it so that we can sell it to the public, absolutely, no problem at all. Listen, we'll give it a try. So I said, yeah, feck. That was the simplest conversation as I was serving him his poached eggs and toast. And that was me, that was it in my head. So probably 2 months later, we developed we developed a range of the meals. The top 4 that the players loved, we call it Rocksalt Fit Meals. We got these microwavable containers, and we put some stickers on them. I said, Richard, any chance we can put it in there? And he said, yeah, Dan, fire away, put it in the fridge. You cleared a little space for us. We put 24 meals into Super Value in Centra, and I'd say it took us 10 hours to make. We're doing four different types of meals, 6 meals of each, and the sweat in all of us, it was incredible. Trying to put every angle of the dishes together. Looking back on it now, it's phenomenal how much we've grown. We're now doing hundreds and hundreds of meals in the space of 2 hours, you know. But at the time we were learning as we were going. We were making mistakes, we were learning, but constantly evolving, constantly growing, and that's the key to it. But we put them in, and I remember delivering them over the first ever delivery. We put it all in, and I said, Jesus, that should do us now for the week. Hopefully now, hopefully they'll want another order next week. That was at 5 o'clock in the evening. I got a call at 9 o'clock saying, have we got any more meals? They've all sold out. And it was like that. It was like, holy crap. It was like when we opened the Café first in Blackrock, and there was a queue out the door from we sold out of food within 2.5 hours. It was just like, oh my God, people know it, people want it. There's a huge market for this. Good meals done really well. We don't have any preservatives. We're not freezing our meals. There's not 3 weeks shelf life on the meals. We wanted to create something that was short, 4 to 5 days shelf life, so that when you put it in the microwave and you ping for 4 minutes, it's like a perfect restaurant quality meal at home. And that's what we're always about, whether it's the catering, whether it's the sports teams, whether it's in Super Values, whether it's in the cafe. You want the same food and the same experience, or as meets as close as you can to it. And that's what Rocksalt's all about, and that's what we try to keep pushing the boundaries of. So fast forward, that's how we started. Always small thing, seizing the opportunities, never saying no. It would have been very easy if I had not walked past Richard that day and not said it to him. Who knows what would have happened, you know? Maybe we wouldn't have even been in the meals. But when I went back to the team and I said, oh, we're going to put some meals in Super Value, they were like, what? You don't even know what you're doing. How's that going to happen? I was like, we'll figure it out. And we did. But never been afraid to say yeah and then figure it out as you go along. And everybody's been brilliant. So I suppose that's starting from humble beginnings in terms of our catering. Fast forward to now, we have 18 retail shops where there's like the Super Value centres. They're all over Louth. There's a couple up the north, some in Monaghan and Cavan as well. And hopefully we can expand that range. But for me, it's very much about making sure that the quality and consistency is there, and that we can stock it and keep it controlled it ourselves. And that's the most important thing to us. But it is absolutely incredible how that business has gone from literally zero to, like I said earlier, we did over 120,000 that we've just invoiced out for the month of December, which is insane. You know, from not even a business plan, never mind anything else. But it was brilliant. However, talk a little bit about the business side of things. That's the story behind it. That's how it happened. We've had to pivot and learn a lot as we've grown over the last couple of years on the catering side of things. It is a completely different business. In the cafe, your customers come in the door and you can focus on them. You can see the quality, you can see if there's any issues, you can change it. You can't do that when you're leaving meals on the shelves and people are going home. You can't get feedback. So it's such an important thing to make sure everything is perfect and trying to gauge as much feedback as we can. It also, cash flow is huge in this business. Like any cafe, you go in, you get paid straight away before people leave, they're paying at the door. So your cash flow is constantly, every day you've got money coming in. When you're looking after teams, when you're looking after retail shops, a lot of them are invoiced per month, and then they have another 30 days. So you basically effectively have 60 days, 2 months before you even get paid some of the shops. Sometimes you have shorter credit terms, sometimes you have longer credit terms. But on average, you're really looking at that. So that was huge. So basically, any of the meals that we're buying last week, we're buying in all our chicken, we're buying in all our veg, we're buying in all the raw ingredients, all the packaging. We have to pay for that all up front. We get all that together. Then we have all our team coming in. So we have huge wages we have to pay out. Never mind your rent, your electricity, all that side of stuff. but then you're not getting paid straight away. So your cash flow is huge. It's constantly going like this. And it's something that you really, really have to be on top of. Plus then you could forget to invoice somebody, or if it's something a little bit smaller, you're looking back and you're sending the invoice, but maybe they're not paying and you need to chase them up. And it's taking more time and effort and everything else. Whereas the business that we knew, you get paid straight away. So you're never worried, you're never chasing people. Nobody comes in, has a chicken stuffing sandwich and says, fuck, I'll pay you in 90 days. That doesn't happen. So it's really, really important that if you're ever going into a business like that, that you have eyes open to it. We certainly didn't. We were doing it as we went along, and I remember sending the first bill in after those 24 meals on that day, and they were like, yeah, send it to the accounts at the end of the month. I was like, okay, send it to the accounts at the end of the month. Send it to the accounts at the end of the month, thinking we'll get paid the next day. No, we'll process it when we get to it, and it'll be another 30 days. Thinking, oh God, how are we going to sustain this? So it's very important to have a liquid business that keeps evolving, and you have something there. So that's basically the business side of things. We obviously tried to sweat the assets as much as we can between starting it off in the Café in Dundalk, bringing it to the back house here in Blackrock, before we eventually then bought this unit in the Coes Road, which was huge. I remember looking at it thinking, what are we doing? Why am I doing this? I'll never fill it. It's going to be an absolute disaster, and it's going to bankrupt the whole business. And it fell through at one point, and I was like, no, do you know what? That's probably for the better. Looking back, we ended up getting the deal across the line the way we wanted it as well. We're really happy with it. It's got 2 big walk-in fridges. It's a huge big warehouse on our side. We'll actually, do you know what? We'll go here soon and I'll show you it. However, it was a huge undertaking at the time. We only had 2 teams and we started doing the fairways, but we had plenty of inquiries, but we were really short in space because we couldn't get 100 meals out at 7 o'clock in the evening to go to feed Louth and feed Dundalk at the same time. So we did need a bigger space. However, I didn't think we needed this big of a space. Looking back at it now, it's the single best thing we ever did for that catering business, because it allowed us to take on more teams, it allowed us to take on more shops, and there's no way in hell we would have been able to grow to where we are now if we hadn't have made that move. So it was a bold move at the time, but it's paying off. And when we go to have a look at the unit, you'll see the hustle and bustle of it. You'll see how many people are in and out, and it's nearly like the central production kitchen. Well, it is central production kitchen, but it's nearly like the central hub of everything that goes on around Rocksalt. It feeds the cafes now as well, so we've been able to use the economies of scale to make sure that the quality in our cafes are bang on, and all the sauces are made fresh and delivered out to the cafe, for example. So it's absolutely been amazing to help us grow the business on that side of things. However, when you see it, I hope you'll understand just the ginormity of the size of the product and what we try to do in the business, and how it's grown from literally 0 to, we've got over 30 people that work there now, just solely there, between drivers, chefs, people in the office, management, service of the teams as well, people on the food truck. So it's been phenomenal, the growth that we've had in this over a short period of time, which you got to remember as well, this wasn't the business that we were ever in. You know, we were always in hospitality, and although it's a side project of the hospitality and it fits in so well with our businesses as cafes, it is absolutely a real central hub of it. But I suppose it goes back to never saying no to anything. If we hadn't done those chicken curries or those Kings 67 years ago, we'd never be where we are now in our catering side of the business. And it's really, it's a fantastic business. I'm so excited about it, and it's got so much more scope to grow as we keep going. There's so much more opportunities as well. So look, we'll take you over to the unit now and we can have a look and see what you think, but you'll be able to see the ginormity of it, and hopefully we'll see some meals being put together and everything working together. So we're here in our production kitchen facilities here on the Coes Road, and I just wanted to show you this because it's gotten so big and it's easy for me to talk about it, but when you actually see it, you probably understand a little bit more of how big this has actually gotten from very, very simple and humble beginnings. Yeah, we nearly have 30 people that are working here, so it's absolutely amazing. But look, let me give you a show around. We're in our little office space here at the moment. Here's some of the, even this is amazing. You see some of the shops and the locations that we're in: Dromiskin, Blackrock, Drogheda, Tullyallen, Kings Court. You can get in the Fairways, we were in Carrick, we're in RD. You can get our meals nearly everywhere around Louth. It's absolutely brilliant. We're in Cross McGlen as well, so we're venturing over the border. So hopefully we'll have another sheet here at some point with another list of shops as we grow and keep getting bigger and bigger. But it's been phenomenal success so far, and I feel like we're only getting started. But look, I keep saying that. Let's have a little walk through. Lads are here, they're loading up. We've got 3 vans. You just take a little pan out there, you can see the vans loading up. We've got our food trucks we keep around the corner here as well. So it's really a hub of activity and everything that we kind of do around the place. The lads are just coming back from stocking up the shops and heading back out. We've got catering going on this evening. We have Louth GAA are eating tonight. We have Kildare, we've got Monaghan. All the senior footballers are eating tonight as well, so it's a busy, busy day. Let's go in and see what everybody else is going around. Basically, when we first took on this unit, I thought it was far too big, and it was one of those moments that I was like, oh, I don't know what we've done. It's too big. How are we ever going to fill it? And within a month, business kept coming in. We kept it on taking more, and it actually allowed us business to grow because we were stuck. We were very limited, and we had to nearly turn down business from where we were in the back of Blackrock. So it's mad just to see it. We've got storage upstairs, which has allowed us to buy in bulk a little bit more. We've been able to bulk buy pallet load of our takeaway cups, for example, our Rocksalt bags, our blue roll, small things, but it's all economies of scale. When you're getting an extra 5–10% discount, it makes all the difference. And then we can pull it back to the cafes whenever it needs. So there's loads of economies of scale from having this even to the cafe side of the business as well, which has been brilliant. So basically we try to create a flow of goods coming in, goods going out and around and getting cooked and then getting chilled. So I'll give you a quick little run through of exactly what we're doing. Basically your fresh ingredients will come here in the morning, everything will be put into our walk-in fridges this way. So you've kind of got a dry goods area, then you have our walk-in fridge, so basically all your raw ingredients comes in the morning, gets stocked up here, your chicken, your veg, kept chilled until we need it. And then the guys pull it down from here, goes into, we'll follow through and I'll show you. Kind of comes through this way. Then you have, this basically our raw cooking section. So you come in here, our chicken gets cut, marinated, all put together here. Same with our beef, anything else that we're doing, all wiped down. So we have a designated area just for producing raw food. The next stop then, we come into our cooking area. So we have all our ovens, our sauces, our inductions, everything gets put through here, and everything is made fresh to order as soon as it comes through. So it's all about speed and quick. So the biggest thing that sets us apart is our food is always cooked to order and cooked fresh, as close to restaurant quality food for our takeaways, our catering, and any meals that you'd have in your house for our caterings. As soon as it comes down for the meals then, everything's got chilled straight away. We have a big blast chiller in here that basically all our meals get thrown into very quickly to bring it right down to temperature to stop any bacteria or anything else getting into the meals. So it's really, really safe and protected. Once they get through here, they go into the next area, which is more of our prep area, and that then the meals get put out together and then they get finished off. If they're going to a Teams, they get heated and sent out in black boxes really quick, so that it's as fresh as possible could be, depending on the length of travel it has to be. The lads here are working off different types of meals that they have got going out today. So the likes of Drogheda United, Kildare Hurlers are having pepper chicken, roast baby potatoes. You can have a little look at that. The Louth ladies are getting the same. And the Louth GA are having crispy chili chicken. So it's all just changes around a little bit, but it's a hive of activity, as you can see as you go along. Everybody's working away. You can see here the meals are being put together fresh. Everything is weighed out, exactly measured, so that we know exactly the calories, the macros, the protein, everything that goes into these meals are really, really hand put together. So there's no room for error in this side of stuff. And then finally, once the meals are ready to go, they get put in here and they're stored down. And look at this. There's our meals, a lovely face on it, all put down together, so it's absolutely, it's fresh, and these are all ready to go out to the shops today. So it's absolutely, we tried to just make things a little bit simpler and easier. The new branding, I absolutely love it. I'm actually so proud of that, you know. It's something that took us a long while to get, and to be truthful, I never ever thought that we would have this. I never thought we'd have a product like this that's sitting in the shelves in Super Values, Londas, Centras. You've got our picture on it as well, and it's absolutely, it's a really, really proud moment as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, that you see something like that come together. And in the rest of the YouTube video, I will tell you a little bit about how that all even came about. Like everything, it was just kind of fell into our lap, and it was just an opportunity that we didn't say no to. You have now heard our story of how the catering business started. You've seen it firsthand, the production kitchen unit, how busy it is, how much goes on in that place. It's absolutely a hive of activity all the time, which is a fantastic asset to have. But guys, this all came from not saying no to an opportunity 6.5 years ago. Things take time to build and to grow. I still feel like we're only getting started. However, we've really grown over the last 6.5 years, but it's not saying no to that first chicken curry that somebody asked me for 8 to 10 people, and it's grown from there. So guys, we've got more to follow. Make sure you subscribe and like the YouTube channel, and we'll see you all in the next one.